friends, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. Alhamdulillah, I am so proud to be here in Egypt today. Every time I come to Egypt, I see the development, I see the progress, and my heart gets bigger because we share a common culture. I come from Pakistan, and our problems and our issues and our countries have a lot in common. And whenever I come to Egypt and I see what's happening here, it makes me feel good. It makes me feel that we learn something from Egypt and take back. So I'm really proud to be here, and I almost look at Egypt my second home. I've been here many times. Alhamdulillah. I want to say something about the young lady who runs our chapter, Iman. Iman, you're an outstanding person. Do I got your attention? I said, you're an outstanding person. You are a symbol of what our young women should be. And I really think, and all of us, and I know all of us who are here from Prison at Large, share that view without any difference of opinion, that you are a great symbol of what a young engineer should be, what a young woman should be, and what a young leader should be. And so I'm wishing you today, from my heart, all the success in your life. The other thing that I learned about our Cairo chapter, and I know this for a long time, the Cairo chapter has a strong foundation. It's got a huge, strong foundation on which generation after generation it has been built. I see my brother, Dr. Mahmoud Fawad here in the back. Dr. Mahmoud, you are one of the pillars, not only of the Cairo chapter, but of ASHRAE. And I salute you for all the work you've done all these years. And God bless you, and may you remain with us a long time. Yesterday, we had the honor and the privilege of being with Mr. Manzalawi, and he's another visionary, a great man, a great pillar of this chapter, and you know, we are proud of him and his achievements, and we wish more and more success to our brothers in Egypt, and may we have our stalwarts and our pillars with us for a long time. Before I go any further, I just want to understand how many members of ASHRAE we have in this room. If you would please raise your hands, those of us who are members of ASHRAE. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, there's a lot of them. So, but Dr. Allah, you raised 2 hands. Are you double size? Okay. By your size, it's okay. So, thank you. Thank you. So, my name is Farouk. I come from Pakistan. My chapter is the ASHRAE Pakistan chapter, and I am the president-elect of ASHRAE for the next society here to lead the society as ASHRAE's president. And I am conscious, thank you, I am conscious that there's a great weight on my shoulders. The great weight on my shoulders is that ASHRAE was founded in 1894. So we have 125 years of history behind us. And in this 125 years, I'm the first person with this look, this Egyptian look I say, because a lot of people think I'm Egyptian, and who has had the honor and the privilege to lead our great society. And so, when you're entrusted by 57,000 members who put you in the office, and you are coming from a background they don't know much about, then there's a great weight on your shoulders to perform. So I'm conscious of this, but I am also conscious of this, that this is a great opportunity for our members from across the world. Our presidents always came from North America, and so there's a North American-centric approach. But I do hope certainly that this would change and that we would bring people from all over the world together. And so I'm conscious of this. Sorry, excuse me. So a little bit about ASHRAE for those of our friends and brothers who don't know about ASHRAE. ASHRAE is the world's leading HVAC-R society. And as I said, founded in 1894 with now 57,000 members in 135 countries. And we have 200 chapters like the Cairo chapter. And 32 of our chapters is in our region, which is the region at large, which is Africa, the Middle East, the Indian subcontinent, and Bangladesh, and Turkey. So we have 5,000 members. So we are a brotherhood in this particular region to which we belong. I like to share with you the vision of ASHRAE. What's ASHRAE's vision? In a simple one-line statement, a healthy and sustainable built environment for all. That's our vision. We want to create a world which is healthy and sustainable for future generations, for everybody. And our mission is to serve humanity by advancing the arts and the sciences of air conditioning in the service of humanity. So that's our mission and our vision. We operate with a certain amount of what we call core values. So what are our core values? The values on which we function, we work, and we operate. Number one, excellence. Whatever we do, we want to have excellence. Commitment. And all of our people here, under the leadership of Iman in Egypt and in other countries, enormous commitment to their mission and the vision. Then it's about integrity. It's about collaboration. It's about volunteerism. And volunteerism is very important because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have gifted me and everyone in this room, mashallah, with resources, with knowledge. So we owe it. We owe it to our fellow human beings. We owe it to our country to volunteer and give something back. So ASHRAE is about volunteerism. The 57,000 members are volunteers, and all our research work, our handbooks, our publications are done by volunteers who are not paid. So it's about volunteerism. It's also about diversity. It is being recognized in the West now that diversity, equity, and inclusion are important to every organization. If you have a group of people where everybody thinks the same, you will not get new ideas. But if I have 2 Egyptians and 2 Indians and 2 Americans and 2 Germans and put them in a room and ask everybody's opinion, I will get a broad range of ideas. And they will be better than coming from one group. So diversity, giving an equal opportunity to all our members to hold office, to be in the society, and include them in our process. That's important. I look upon myself as one aspect of ASHRAE's diversity, that it recognizes that somebody who's not from North America can also be in a leadership role and promote that. So diversity is a very important criteria. I'm going to share a little bit about my life with you. It was 1971, and I was then 25 years old. And I was the chief engineer of the Intercontinental Hotel in Dhaka, which is now Bangladesh. But then it was called East Pakistan because Pakistan had 2 parts, West Pakistan and East Pakistan. And it was a time of great political and economic unrest, because we had racial tensions, we had inequalities between East and West Pakistan, and eventually this led to fighting and hostilities, and as we all know, Pakistan broke into two countries. West Pakistan became what we now call Pakistan, and East Pakistan became what we now call Bangladesh. So the thing is, I came from West Pakistan, but I worked and I lived in East Pakistan. And my wife was from there, and my father served in the army of West Pakistan. So I was on both sides of that conflict. In August of 1971, the hotel where I worked was bombed. And it was bombed by a terrorist attack, because 3 days later we were going to have a visit from Senator Kennedy, who was the brother of President John Kennedy. And before that, the hotel was bombed. And so my friends, and I had friends on both sides, told me, things are going to get bad. They're going to blow up. You better get out of here. I took that information seriously. I didn't take their joking with me. I took that information seriously. And my director at the hotel said, I want you to repair all the damage from this bombing. And I said to him, I will do it on one condition, that you transfer me to West Pakistan when this job is finished. And I sent my family to West Pakistan. In the coming weeks, a civil war broke out. And many of the West Pakistanis who did not leave, they ended up in jail or they got killed. So when I think back, when I reflect back on that experience, I can see the series of events which were critical in securing my personal and professional future. So what were those things that saved me? It was, number one, relationships. Over the years, I had many diverse and trusted relationships on both sides. Two, it was knowledge. I had, because of those relationships, access to important information, accurate information, and relevant information. And third, I was willing to make a change. I was willing to uproot myself and my family and go live in another part of the country. So, relationships, knowledge, and being willing to make a change are necessary to securing your future. And I think that this applies not only to me personally, but it applies to ASHRAE, it applies to our chapter. So how can we, as a society and as a group, secure our future? We can build relationships, and those relationships we build when we come together as a chapter, as a region, as a society, and we create those networks, we build those relationships. And then, from those relationships, we get a lot of knowledge. What's happening in the world? What are the changes coming? How the situation is going to change? And when we have the relationships and knowledge, then we make the change of how we operate, how we work. So it is the same three things that help us to navigate the future. So ASHRAE chapters and joining ASHRAE can help you in many ways. You will build the relationships, because we are sitting in a room here today. Consider that in this room today, there are consultants, there are contractors, there are suppliers, and there are a lot of people who are involved in our industry and in our business. If I say to myself, I am not going to enter this room, I am not going to be part of this, I am denying myself all those connections, all that information, and all those relationships. I'm out of the picture, I'm out of the room. So being in that room is important for all of us who want to be in the HVAC-R industry. That's one aspect of being an ASHRAE. Then you have a wealth of information. We have a technical portal, we have handbooks, we have training programs, we do research. And by the way, ASHRAE funds its own research. Our research is not based on sponsors or somebody telling us to do this research. We pay the research from our pockets. And of course, ASHRAE teaches you management skills which help you to develop professionally and move on. So, I will tell you something that by being in that room, by using that knowledge, those networks, that technology, you're securing yourself. You're developing yourself for the future and you're securing that future. We are living in a time of great change. Believe me, this is not a time like it was 20 years ago or 50 years ago or 60 years ago. The changes that you see which will impact our lives. First up, look at what the pandemic did to us. This pandemic, this corona, in 2 years, changed entirely the way we live. It changed our living habit, it changed our working habit, it changed our shopping habits, it changed the way we connect with each other. So this is a time of change, and that change is brought about by a pandemic which none of us could do anything about. But we need to be prepared to cope with it, to accept that challenge and to work in that environment. Our climate is changing on the planet. It's changing to our disadvantage. Global temperature rise is creating heat waves. Richie and I were talking yesterday about the huge heat wave that has gone on for 1 week in India and Pakistan, and it has dried the crops and killed the people, and these things are going to be more and more intense. It is a challenge. Climate change is a huge challenge. Yesterday, when I went to the program of TIBA, we got to see presentations of water scarcity. Today, 98% of the water in Egypt comes from the River Nile. And 98% of Egypt's people have enough water. Everybody has got a water connection. But the forecast is that in 5 years, Egypt will have 40% less water than is needed for a person to survive. And that number is, in the WHO and other organizations, that every person must get 1,000 cubic meter of water in a year. And the number for Egypt will come down to 600 in 5 years. So there's a challenge. We have to address that challenge. Then other things are happening. We are seeing conflicts around the world. And these conflicts, forget about this side or that side. What are their impact and their consequences? The consequences, one of the principal consequences is the patterns of trade will change. Countries are going to go for self-sufficiency. They don't know tomorrow I can buy something here or there, I better manufacture it. So that needs us to make a change in policy, in direction, so that we cope with the changes that are coming. So we need to think about a new strategy for our lives. Now, knowledge, which is the basis of everything, is not belong to any. for a long time. Even the people, they had put evaporating fountains in front of residences, so by evaporation you got evaporative cooling. These were sustainable technologies. It takes 500 years before they come to the West, before they come to other parts of the world. And as we know, that 700-800 years ago, the Arab people laid the foundation, mathematics, chemistry, algebra. But how many centuries it took for this algebra and chemistry and mathematics to come to the world? Not until the Renaissance in the 14th century, maybe it took 700 years. But this is not the situation today. Today, the change is occurring at a phenomenal speed. 15 years ago, there were no smartphones. Today, every person walking around has a computer in his pocket. And this accelerating change requires that we move at the same speed. We cannot wait 100 years, 500 years for learning this technology. We got to learn it today. And so, my message is that we need to act now. We need to act now to change ourselves, to get those relationships in position, to acquire that knowledge, and to make the transition. And so the time to act is now to secure your future. Thank you very much. I'm open to any questions you'd like to ask. How to be a member in ASHRAE? Iman, I need you here. You're the boss lady here. How to be a member in ASHRAE? And what are the benefits? Arabic, of course Arabic.
مساء الخير جميعا. هو طبعا البنفيتس بتاعت الاشري ممبرشيب، احنا مش هنتكلم عن الحاجات في حاجات اوريدي موجوده بتافورد، مثلا الهاند بوكس سبيشال ديسكاونت على
How does he become a member? To become a member, you log into ASHRAE.org. Okay, you will find become a member. Click. Take out your credit card from your pocket. In half a minute you will be ASHRAE member. And then you will get all the benefits that Iman is telling you.
benefits دي منها discounts على الكود، على الساندويتش، على حاجات معينة، access للتكنولوجي بورتال. لما بتبقى اسوشيت ممبر ما بيبقاش ليك حق الكود اللي بعد كده بيبقى ليك، بس هي الفكرة أكتر من كده احنا سوسايتي. يعني أحلى حاجة في الموضوع إن أنت بتدخل عيلة بنعرف بعض كلنا فيها، وبنعمل نتوركينج مع بعض، بتاع كل الجديد في الاندستري. يعني ليه مميزات لا محدودة. There's no conditions, just get.
I'd like to answer you that. ASHRAE has no barriers to anyone becoming a member. However, you have to have an interest in the field. So you will yourself not try to become a member if you don't have an interest. Now, there are grades of membership. Fundamentally, you can be an affiliate member, you can be an associate member, or you can be a full member. For a full member, a certain number of years in the profession. For an affiliate member, no requirements, and you can change the grade as you go along. You can also be a student member at a very nominal price, as student member. And when the student member graduates, then for the first 3 years there is a program to gradually increase the fee as the earning power increases.
And what's the benefits of being a member?
The benefits that you will get for being a member are the ones I talked about. You will be in the room. You will know everybody if you join the Cairo chapter. Everyone who is in the field of consulting, contracting, supply, are there. So first, your main benefit is networking. That networking is not finished at Cairo. It's in Egypt, it's in all of Africa, it's all Middle East. So if, for example, I try in my business to find a connection in South Africa and I want to do some business, I know every consulting engineer in South Africa. I just need to pick up the phone because I have networked with them and I have met with them. So networking is number one advantage. The technology is the second biggest advantage. Online resources, excuse me, handbooks covering every aspect, design, operation, so on. A whole range of publications.
It's not about the temperature and lights only?
No. If you want to know how an air handler should work, what are the specifications required, you find it in ASHRAE handbooks. If you want to know how you want to design a hospital, you'll find in ASHRAE handbooks. If you want to know which type of pipe you want to use where, shall I use copper, steel, schedule 20, 40, 80, you will know where to apply. So it covers every aspect of industry.
And all in the website, what is this information on the website?
Part of it is the website, part of it when you become a member, then you get the handbooks, and you get the special publications, and you get a preferential rate for taking training. One of our most successful training is HVAC Design Essentials. Level 1 to level 2. If it costs 5 for somebody who's not a member, only costs 2 if you're a member.
And I can communicate with any member of the ASHRAE.
Of course.
Your information.
If you want to give you the information, but society, ASHRAE itself have a huge information. That's always for you. So information, knowledge, training, and even professional development. For example, I don't know in Egypt, but in America, you need to have continuing education to renew your engineering license. Every year, every engineer in America need to take so many hours of courses, and these are approved courses. And then he applies back for his professional engineer license, is renewed.
And what about the fees?
ASHRAE membership fee is currently $230 per year for full members. For developing economies, and I think Egypt is a developing economy. In those countries where the World Bank says this is a developing country, half rate. 150, 135, 130, 120 something. So it's really nothing for what you are going to gain out. That's the kind of money you would probably spend if you took 5 of your good friends and you said, let us go to the Al-Masa Hotel tonight and eat dinner. That's what you would probably spend. So it's really not good. Thank you, sir. Any other questions? Well, once again, thank you for the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr.